president of Mission Hill Family Estate in West Kelowna and Sebastian Farms, which is the Von Mandel family collection of estate vineyards located throughout the Okanagan Valley. He joined Mission Hill Family Estate as chief winemaker for the 2015 harvest, following his successful 5-year tenure as lead winemaker at Cedar Creek Winery. Prior to this, he began his 20-plus year career in winemaking at Mount Adam Vineyards in Barossa Valley, one of Australia's premier Chardonnay makers, followed by senior winemaking roles at Villa Maria Estate in Hawke's Bay, New Zealand, and Marlborough, New Zealand as well.
Thank you. I forgot I'd done all that. Time goes so fast. So, I think what I wanted to talk about is where we are today in the Okanagan industry, because I think in that sense I grew up in Australia and big fan of the Australian wine industry, and then moving to New Zealand, and then to the I actually lived out in Niagara for 7 years before the last 10 years here in the Okanagan, and it's quite interesting seeing where we are in our journey as a wine region. So just maybe if I jump all the way back, nobody really knows when they're 16, 17. Some people want to be a pilot, or nobody really says I want to be a winemaker. Wine isn't really exciting unless you grow up in a wine family. It's not exciting to a 15, 16-year-old. So I finished grade 12 and I thought, I have no idea what I want to do. I've got no money, but I want to travel and see the world. So I joined the Navy, the Royal Australian Navy, and I thought this would be a good way to see the world. And I then quickly realised I make you work hard as well. But in seeing the world, I discovered wine, and it was amazing. Here I am as an 18-year-old, and every time we'd pull into a country around the world, I'd find their wine region and go and taste their wines. And then I met my wife, who comes from the Hunter Valley in Australia, and we'd go up to see the in-laws, and it's like, well, who wants to hang out with the in-laws? So the side benefit was we're in a wine region, so we'd go and discover wine even more. But it came from a passion for me. I didn't come from a wine family, but a pure passion. So then I realised you could do this for a living. So I enrolled in university and studied viticulture and winemaking, and then I went and did my postgraduate studies in business, because I never wanted to be in the business side of wine at the time. But I thought if I'm going to deal with people in sales and marketing, I should know what they're talking about. So I went down that path as well. Then from there, I started working in the Barossa Valley, and I really fell in love with what I call cool climate viticulture. We were up really high in High Eden, and beautiful acidity. I thought, where can I get better acidity than what I'm getting in Australia? So I moved to New Zealand, and making Sauvignon Blanc and Riesling and Pinot Noir, etc. And I loved the acidity, and I thought there's got to be somewhere cooler than New Zealand. Hence, I came to Canada, and. At the time, thinking it was just going to be a couple of years. So I moved to Ontario, and it was exciting. It was fun, because it was this dynamic region that was just really getting going and starting to be noticed. And I thought, this is fun, a couple of years, and I'd move back to Australia. And then as part of my role in Ontario, I had associations with wineries out here. So every 3 or 4 months, I was coming out to the Okanagan. I'm thinking, what am I doing in Niagara? My goodness, there's this incredible undiscovered region sitting right here in the Okanagan. So moved to the Okanagan 10 years ago and haven't looked back. And the exciting part with the Okanagan Valley is we're just starting on our journey, and just in 10 years that I've been here, the wines are getting better every year, and we haven't hit our ceiling. It's seeing where we're going is really, really exciting. And, I could and have worked all around the world, and I'm here, my wife's Australian. I'm here because I believe this is the most exciting wine region in the world. I truly believe that. And my whole career in wine has come from passion. The challenges that I see in the Okanagan Valley are twofold. We lack technology. We definitely lack technology in our vineyards and in our wineries. And technology in agriculture is moving so fast, and our wine industry isn't adapting as fast as it should. So that's one big area of opportunity. And I think our final speaker, when Elaine comes up, will talk a lot more about that. But it's really exciting, that opportunity where we can go with technology. You can't take away the farming, but technology can help us become better at what we're doing and seize more opportunities. The other big thing that I notice in the Okanagan wine industry is our vertical integration. Although it can be a benefit, it holds us back to a certain degree as well. And what I mean by that is most of us are farmers first. We're growing our own grapes. That's somewhat unique in the sense that we're growing our own grapes, but then we're selling our own wine as well. And so some of us are running restaurants. In our company we have 2 restaurants. We're running hospitality hospitality programs, we're running wine clubs, then we're also trying to sell our wine, locally and across Canada. And what happens then is the hardest thing to do is build your brand internationally, and that's held the Okanagan Valley back. And both of the previous speakers spoke to that. And so because we're vertically integrated and we're trying to do everything here in the Okanagan, everything in Vancouver and across Canada, we haven't gone out and flown the flag for Okanagan Valley around the world. You know, in the Barossa Valley, you start a winery in the Barossa Valley, and you think, well, I'm going to sell 5% of my wine locally, 25% in Australia, and then the other, 30%, 70%, has to go around the world. It's part of your business plan from the start. Rarely is it part of the business plan here in the Okanagan. So for me, they're the two areas that we really need to work on is technology and making sure we get our brand around the world. Because one thing I've noticed about Canadians is they love outside support. If someone from somewhere else in the world tells them Canadian wine is good, then Canadians start to realise you're all here because you know Canadian wine is good. But we need Canadians, to even be more proud of their product and stand up and notice it. And the only way to do that, to own our own country, is actually to get out and make the world stand up and realise what we've got. So it's an exciting region. I'm speaking to the converted already here tonight, so that's exciting.